here on Live at the Half. We'll check in with Dave and the boys, hear from the coaches on what we've seen in the opening 30 minutes. Prime Minister Stephen Harper, daughter Rachel. At the game, there's Senator David Braley and Larry Smith. The outgoing president of the Alouettes. Worst start position for the Alouettes in his opening half. At 27. And they'll be over the middle of Big Jamel Richardson's got another catch to the 39. 3 for Richardson in his opening half. And Barrett Simpson the tackle.
Usually when this Montreal offense bogs down against Saskatchewan in the 2 games this year, they've gone to Jamel Richardson to try and kickstart it. And now he just sits down in that defense. Barrett Simpson rallies to him, but not until Richardson has a first down.
Richardson led the CFL in second down conversion pitches and was second in yards after the catch. And that pass is almost intercepted. Kerry Watkins, the intended target, but Omar Morgan had a better shot at the ball.
I think Kerry Watkins tried to break the route off and come inside. It looked like that was a timing throw where Anthony Calvillo is throwing it before Watkins comes out of his break on the sideline. Watkins decided to turn inside instead of out right. Here, he kind of falls inside, and Omar Morgan has the best chance at it.
Omar is in 11th year, still looking for his first catch. The only season he was not a home run, that was 2007 when Saskatchewan won. And he was an Edmonton Eskimo. Big pressure. And here's the way is Steve Green. Another highlight reel catch. And now they're saying incomplete, and the Alouettes are going to argue. I think one official's going to overrule. And they are now going to spot it as an S.J. Green catch.
Both the head coaches are going to want to take another look at that, and that looks just like his catch in the back of the end zone in that first game on Canada Day. Now, did he catch that football, or did it touch the ground?
Now they are weaving it off, and I don't think the Alouettes are going to challenge the call. At 2 different angles by officials. And this angle shows you that ball did hit the turf despite the brilliant efforts of S.J. Green.
Slips through there. He doesn't have control now. The tip of the ball does touch the ground. That's no catch.
Well, that was almost shades of the end zone on Canada Day. So a 4th consecutive punt for the Alouettes. Dressler on the short kick. Gets the 1 yards. Like Chip Cox was within that 5-yard restraining area.
Ken Miller has decided to put Weston Dressler back on punts because he has such sure hands.
Holding Saskatchewan, number 27, the 10-yard penalty and first down.
So Chip Cox was okay, and Nick Graham gets the call, and that'll march it back 10 yards deeper into Saskatchewan territory.
After the adventure in the special teams and the punt return team in the Western Final with Ryan Greismall, we've seen Weston Dressler returning kicks with sure hands. Now that penalty pushes Darian Moran back a bit.
Turned into a defensive struggle here in this second quarter. Gets off the pitch, gets away, and more flags fly.
It'll be a face mask against Chip Cox. What Montreal is doing defensively now will force Saskatchewan to be patient offensively.
Major foul, face mask. Montreal number 11, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Led the team in tackles. Very good year defensively. But from the left to right of your screen as he closes here, you can see the left hand of Chip Cox across the face mask of Chris Getzlaff. No question, a penalty there.
Chip Cox, one of only 3 all CFL players on the Alouettes. Durant looking downfield, quick couple of spots. Nearly a catch made there by Getzlaff. Billy Parker was stride for stride.
Billy Parker was patient. Darian Durant had time to throw. A nice block made by Wes Cates on the backside to give his quarterback some time, but Billy Parker patient at the other end of the route. Good year for Billy Parker in the knockdown department.
Interesting guy to watch today, though, because a lot of Rough Riders felt that he was the guy they might go after. One of the players watching on the outside from other teams felt that the Rough Riders might go after Billy Parker today. He's looking up the field. Needs to get a first down, and he's going to get it. Waterville skips into Alouette territory and out at the Montreal 48.
It starts by formation for Saskatchewan here. They put a basic bunch formation with the receivers to the right. That'll be over in this area here, just outside of your screen. And when they do that, all those receivers will come inside and they'll release Wes Cates and try and get him outside and isolated, possibly on a linebacker, Shea Emery, or one of those outside corners. But he makes a nice shake and make move, little fake to the inside, and then bounces it.
This Rough Rider drive started at their own 28. They've moved it to the Montreal 48. Durant looking for Getzlaff and brought it down incomplete out of bounds. And again, Parker working against Chris Getzlaff.
Right now, the Montreal Alouettes on that first down situation went to a double team on Andy Fantus. They're going to try and give him a lot more attention, try and take away the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League. See Chip Cox come up on him. He gets jammed on the inside by Shea Emery. That takes the ball outside. Darian Durant tries to find Getzlaff. They're that close.
What Calgary did, and that's why Chris Getzlaff became the popular target for Durant in the Western Final. 2nd and 10. Short drop over the middle. The pass caught. And short of the first down, it is Chris Getzlaff. Again, the target.
They're mixing it up now. Montreal went that time again with zone. Getzlaff is going to sit in there. Now, Darian Durant has to guard against locking into him and just assuming that the double team will happen to Andy Fantus every play and just read each play independently.
Well, like Mark Trestman early in this game, Ken Miller opting not to try a long field goal. Would be 48 yards out, and again, don't look at Kanji. Eddie Johnson will try anything over 45, but they're not going to take any chances with Tim Mabray having returned 2 missed field goals against Saskatchewan for touchdowns. Johnson lost the corner, and this one is going to bounce into the end zone. So doesn't get what he was looking for. Instead, it's a single and a 3-point Saskatchewan lead.
And those are execution errors, and that's an error by Eddie Johnson. That takes the strategy and turns it around now to favor the Alouettes, because I like the decision by Ken Miller to go for the corner and play that field position battle. Remember, when Mark Trestman elected to punt on 3rd and short, after a series and a 2-and-out by Saskatchewan, they ended up scoring their first touchdown off that positive field position. A good decision made by Mark Trestman. Ken Miller tries to go with that same strategy, but he doesn't get the execution from Eddie Johnson.
So Anthony Calvillo has 1 minute to change the score in the opening half. Looked very sharp in the opening possession. But he has been stymied by the Rough Rider defense in cover. And he gets stacked up, but Alouette's running a lot on first down. That's out of character for them.
Yeah, it really is. They're trying to see if they can attack this defense in Saskatchewan that ranked last against the run in the regular season. But with the way that Jarrell Freeman is playing, they better figure out a way to block him. I mean, that's what they have to talk about at halftime. How do they get a big body on Jarrell Freeman and try and take him away from the play? Maybe run away from him or get an offensive lineman on him. But he's been a one-man wrecking crew.
Alouettes have 57 yards rushing in the game. 2nd and 1, and that ball is going to be ruled a catch. They are ruling a catch is made by S.J. Green off the turf. Aaron Simpson wants the Saskatchewan bench to challenge the call.
Aaron Simpson is trying to get Ken Miller to throw his challenge flag. Let's take a look. S.J. Green had that real close one in the last series. This one down low and did it bounce. It looked like it may have come off his hands.
No surprise that the Alouettes are going no huddle here. They want to get the first down and no challenge flag has been thrown. So quickly back to work and right back in the hands of Green and Lance Fraser with the quick takedown.
You know, S.J. Green, you mentioned the 10 touchdowns this year. I mean, he has got to have gone to the Ben Cahoon School of ball catching and receiving, because S.J. Green, you know how they talk about receivers and they have that window, and if you put it in that window, they'll get it. Well, he's got a big window. I mean, S.J. Green, you put it anywhere in the area code, and he's coming down with it. Really coming into his own as that fifth receiver, and it's often a player in games like this that you may not think to be the guy that steps up and becomes the big play guy for your team.
2nd and 6. Ball caught by Green, goes away. And S.J. Green has another first down as the Alouettes try to get into scoring position. If you didn't watch the Canada Day fireworks, S.J. Green made the play of the day and made the year.
Double overtime, the Alouettes had to get this 2-point convert after that to keep the game alive, and S.J. Green, unreal.
Gabriel running out of time, threw it away and flag down, and this is going to be a holding call, which will march it back 10 and out of field goal range.
When you get to about 4 steamboats, 5 steamboats, 2 things are going to happen. You're going to draw a holding call, or you're going to get your quarterback sacked.
Holding. Montreal number 54. The 10-yard penalty would be first down.
Jeff Barrett, the big right tackle, out of
How the throw and return?
He's working on Brent Hawkins. One-on-one, the right tackle gets his hands up over the shoulder pads, and it's pulling that jersey as that play extends too long.
So 4 seconds remain in the half. Red Riders have 4 defenders very deep. They'll throw it underneath, and it's dropped. Ball dropped by Kerry Watkins on the final play a year ago. After 30 minutes, the Red Riders led 17-3. After 30 minutes here tonight,
Montreal Alouettes have to find a way to block Terrell Freeman defensively. Darian Durant, haven't seen him run yet that much in the first half. So wouldn't be surprised to see it in the second.
3-point Rough Rider lead as we check in with Farhan Lalji and Ken Miller.
Coach, it looked in the second quarter, or in the first quarter, that Darian Durant was starting to get things going offensively. What happened in that second quarter?
Well, you know, the game kind of changed a little bit on us. In the first quarter, we had a tough time getting down and stop. And then in the second quarter, we did make a pretty good drive and get a score. So we're going to be all right. We just need to play hard for the next 30 minutes.
Defensively, teams don't often try to blitz to pressure Anthony Calvillo because of how quickly he gets the ball out. How were you able to pressure him?
Well, with our special blitz, the Etcheberry blitz scheme that we have.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, now let's check in on the other sideline where Sarah Orleski has Mark Tressman.
Coach, defense has reigned supreme in that first half. What's the biggest challenge facing your offense?
Well, the biggest thing is we got to continue to work at keeping AC clean. He's taken a few more hits than we would have liked. They're bringing the house quite a bit, and we got to get rid of the ball, and we're doing that. And then when we get the opportunity, we got to make the play.
Thank you, Coach.
Good, Sarah.
Well, we thought there'd be plenty of fireworks. We had touchdowns from the 2 running backs, Gates and Goldberg, but it's a defensive battle after 30 minutes. Rough Riders lead at 11-8. 98 Grey Cup halftime coming up next.
Looks good.
Yeah. Hey, we should get Tim. Yeah. You know, with your coffee, you can get a donut for 49 cents now. Hey, you don't have to tell me. Why do you think I made this bad boy? The Wheel of Donuts. A Wheel of Donuts? Wheel of Donuts. Now that Tim's has that donut deal, I get one every day. I got apple
winner!
It's a big deal. For a limited time, buy a coffee or any beverage and enjoy any donut for just 49 cents. Always a great value.
I need the wheel.
Always do.
Look, everybody wants the same things in a pickup. Okay, you don't need a bunch of donut eaters and a focus group to tell you that. But only the engineers at Ford seem to